As I was editing this video together, it soon became apparent that it was going to be too long. It was well over a half hour. So I've decided to split it. So in this first section, I'm talking about some of the pressures I've been feeling with photography lately, a new approach that I want to try, and it's just talking about what's been going on the last few days. And then in the second part, I continue my journey and I actually end up taking some pictures. So I was pretty happy with how the day turned out. So I've split it in two. So this first part is out today, and the second part will be out on Tuesday. Bear with me. Good morning. Today is going to be a bit slower than the other videos I've done recently. I'm just going to take my time, explore this along this lock a little bit behind me, and just take my time and slow down a bit. This is all because yesterday I put the whole day yesterday to record a video. But as soon as the day started, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to shoot. I had no inspiration, and I just wasn't sure of what I wanted to do that day. So I got in my car and I drove around, and I drove for 5 hours trying to find some inspiration, hoping that there would be a moment of like, yes, I should be doing this. But it just didn't come. I was trying to force the photography for the sake of the video, and that's sort of what I didn't want to do when I started this channel. The whole point of it was to show the good and the bad days, so I should have really made a video out of yesterday as well. But I didn't feel like that was good enough. And I felt very frustrated and disappointed in myself, which is, again, I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel good about what I'm doing. I don't want to feel disappointed and frustrated all of the time. So when I got home, I did what anyone would do. I went looking for inspiration. And as I was scrolling around on YouTube, and I was watching videos by other photographers and flicking through books and magazines, there's this one piece of advice that keeps coming up, and that's just slow down. Don't worry about taking the photography, just enjoy being out in the outside. And I think that's very important, and that's what I want to do today. If I get a picture, great. If I don't, it doesn't matter. It's going to be difficult getting a picture. You can see it's quite dull and grey. I turned down the old ISO. Memory card filled up. I forgot to wipe it. So it's a dull, drizzly day, but that doesn't mean that photography can't be done. I think the style of photography that I've been trying to pursue can't be done today, which is grand vistas, big landscapes, the sky doing amazing stuff, the light falling on the landscape, and that's been stuck in my head for a while, that style of photography. And so I think because I can't do that today, it's really the worst weather for it, that will give me the opportunity to try and be more creative, and channel something a little different. So today I'm going to take it slow, I'm going to explore, and I'm going to try and find something a little different to the norm. Something that I like, something that catches my eye, but isn't necessarily a grand landscape. Let's get started. You might be wondering what I'm trying to find here, and it's not as complicated as it seems. I'm trying to find some small details in the landscape or in the nature, I suppose, that I enjoy, that I find interesting, and I want to try and put those into a composition. So essentially I'm looking for a subject, but that requires a lot of patience and a lot of looking. Midge. They're not too bad today. There's been a light breeze, but the breeze has died off. Oh crikey, that's a whole cloud of them. Anyway, carrying on, let's get past these midges. So yeah, I'm trying to find some detail, some texture, some contrast, something that I find interesting that I can work into a composition. Now I say that's not as complicated as it sounds. It's not, but it's not easy either. Although this isn't the most easy task, it should be a fun one. Ugh. Oh, it's one of those days, isn't it? I always find broom quite nice, but I can't think of a composition yet. Let's carry on wandering, see if anything happens. But that's part of what I was trying to say earlier. I'm not worrying about taking an image today. Like in my last video, I don't know if you noticed, I was really determined to get a picture. And the end results, I weren't that happy with, to be honest. There was a couple that I liked, but by and large, I wasn't impressed with my performance that day. I can blame the conditions all I want, but it's also down to me. I've got to work with the conditions that I have. And although it was difficult, I should have really taken my time and just relaxed. I think that's something that we don't do as photographers very often, is just relax, let the moment come to us. It's like on my way here, there was this amazing colour in the sky. I wouldn't have thought there would be today, considering how much low cloud there was, but there was these beautiful pinks in the sky. But I was too late. I wasn't in any position to photograph them. I was in the car for a start. They were in the wrong direction for this location. But it was just beautiful to witness, you know. That's why we do this as photographers, isn't it? Is to just witness the beauty of the world and try and record it. So there's moments where you miss it, and I usually beat myself up about it. I'm like, oh, I should have been there, I should have done this. But I'm trying to let go of those disappointments, because there's only so much I can do. I'm not Superman. I can't turn back the time or what have you. So I work with what I've got. There's some logs in the lock that might make a nice composition later. So I'm going to continue exploring and trying to find a composition, but if I don't, I don't. I'm sorry. But I've got to relieve that pressure a bit of getting an image and of being in the exact place at the exact right time. It's not only from YouTube that I've been feeling this pressure, it's from just being a photographer in general. I always feel like I should have been there, I should have done that, I should have been seen that light, I should have been on that spot at that exact moment. And it's like, there's no way of predicting that. I need to work with what I've got in front of me, because that's what's in front of me. Like the other day up on the coast, that was spontaneous. That wasn't planned. That wasn't meant to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen, but I enjoyed it when it did. And it's the same in Glen Nevis the other day. I was just having a day out, driving around with my girlfriend, having a look at what the landscape was like to go back in the future. But the light was doing such amazing stuff that I just couldn't help but stop and photograph it. And I need to do that more. I need to work with what's in front of me. I need to be open to the compositions, to the light around me, and admit sometimes it's not worth getting an image, or I can't see an image. Maybe if you were here, you could. But that's what makes us different, you know? What makes us different as photographers is we have our own ideas of what an image should be. And that's what makes it a creative pursuit as well. Oh, I'm rambling a bit, so I'm going to continue exploring. Just taking a bit of shelter from the rain. The midges are coming out as the wind has died down. So far this morning, two compositions or two subjects have stood out to me. I should say I need to find the compositions for them. And they're two very detailed subjects. One is the rocks along the shoreline. They're all these different shapes and they've been beaten up and eroded over time from the trees. They're a bit more raw than, say, like a pebble at a beach. So that's one. The other one was the broom from earlier, where that big thick cloud of midges was. I really love the textures of all the strands standing up with these little tiny leaves sticking off of it. And I think a very detailed shot of that could work. Oh, the midges are mad. The wind has really died down, so they're coming out in force now. While I sit here, I think I'll have to midge up. There we go. So, yeah, I think those two subjects are what I want to photograph. I've got a little bit further to go along the track. The other thing that is interesting me is the texture on this bark. I'm thinking textures today because there's not a lot of light, and I think the clouds are really diffusing the light, and that's giving this nice softness to the rough texture. So I think that's the plan for the minute now. I'm going to just wander along a little bit further and try and find a composition with the rocks. I want to get the interplay between rocks and water, two very fundamental elements, and I think the water merging and flowing through the rocks is what I want in my composition. It's just finding the right patch of rocks that have enough texture and dynamic interplay with the water. But the midges are starting to annoy me now. They're probably hiding from the rain as well. You know, I think I set out what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about taking things a bit slower and just trying to enjoy being outside. I mean, I'll be critiquing my compositions a bit more instead of just taking a shot for a shot. But I don't think it's been a bad day. I think it's been a good day. I like strolling in the rain. It helps me think. And I think that going forward it's going to be more like this. I'm going to try less panicking and more focusing on what I like to do, which is the photography. So, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed today. It was a bit of a mixed bag. I enjoyed trying to find little details in the landscape instead of worrying about the light on the land like that over there. If I see it, I want to capture it, but if it's not there, I need to try and adapt, I suppose is the word. Adapt and think about something different for a change. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see what's coming up next. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just reacting to the landscape. I'm just reacting to the light and the weather, and I'm just trying to pick places to wander rather than pictures to get. So that's the plan from now on. Just go for a nice stroll outside and try and get some pictures while I'm out. See you on the next one.